This is Emily.
Hey, Emily, this is Dave Portnoy.
Oh, I want to talk to you about this.
Don't you think you should talk to me before sending that email?
It's sort of a reporting tactic. When you want someone to respond, you kind of have to indicate that there might be something negative.
That is a sad state of journalism.
I want to set up a time tomorrow morning, maybe? Like 10? Are you free at 10?
In this video, we are going to watch a few legendary clips just released from Dave Portnoy, where he calls up a Washington Post journalist and personally grills them about a hit piece that they're about to do on him. Dave got wind from one of his sponsors at an event that he was planning that this journalist had been sending them emails, basically trying to ruin the event. And this is what we would like to call in Australia an act that is lower than shark shit. So shout outs to Dino, who is a loyal subscriber who sent me this clip on YouTube, and I do appreciate all the clips and the messages that you guys send. Let's get into it.
This is Emily.
Hey, Emily, this is Dave Portnoy calling. I'm recording you right now, but I've noticed a bunch of people, it seems like you're sending, we have this pizza fest happening on Saturday, and you're reaching out to our advertisers, and you're basically sending an email that says, to the effect, Dave's a misogynist racist. Do you want to defend yourselves advertising at this event, right?
I'm sorry, what's your name, Dave? I'm sorry, who are you?
I'm the guy you're writing the article about, Dave Portnoy.
Oh, you're Dave Portnoy. Oh, hey, how are you?
Good.
Good. No, I'm not. I haven't said anything like that.
Well, I can read if you want. If you want, I can read what you actually sent. I have it.
Yeah, read, because I sent a bunch of notes, so I want to make sure I know which one.
Okay. We are planning to write about the festival and how some of the sponsors and participants have drawn criticism by seemingly to associate themselves with Dave Portnoy, who has a history of misogynic comments and other problematic behavior. I want to make sure that Blank had a chance to respond to this, since the company is the most prominent in their partners of his festival.
Oh, that's the one I sent to, which was definitely the most pointed of them, because I really did want them to respond, and I was hoping to get something from them.
Do you think that's fair? Like, I totally disagree with the assertions of what you said, that misogynic and all that stuff. So, like, it kind of backs people into a corner. So I'm happy to go over anything. I mean, that is pretty pointed. You said you didn't do it. Then I have the exact evidence of you doing it. So
no, I didn't say I didn't do that. I said I did. That was the one that was the most pointed.
Well, no, before I provided proof, you said you didn't really remember doing that. And then I read it to you and you're like, oh yeah, I did it that one time. So you did do it. I'm happy to talk about the comments, because to me, it's kind of like torturous interference. Like, we're doing an event. Everyone's happy about the event. I've raised $50 million for small business. I've helped pizza. None of that. It's Dave's misogynic and problematic, and I'm happy to talk about it.
Just doing reporting, she reckons. Okay. So the reporter that he's talking to here, in case you've been living under a rock, is Emily Hale from the Washington Post. And here's the actual email that she sent. Hi, just following up on this, we are planning to write about the festival and how some of the sponsors and participants have drawn criticism by seeming to associate themselves with Dave Portnoy, who has a history of misogynistic comments and other problematic behavior. I wanted to make sure that X had a chance to respond to this, since the company is the most prominent of the partners for his festival. Now guys, I don't want any of you to panic on behalf of Dave Portnoy, but this is serious. This is not just any old run-of-the-mill reporter. This is a hard-hitting, credible journalist with a bachelor's in English. She does the kinds of stories that shape culture. When her articles come out, people stop and listen. In the past 12 months alone, she has published groundbreaking stories such as Elon Musk and the hardcore cult of Diet Coke, what Gwyneth Paltrow's courtroom water says about her and the brand, and pumpkin spice latte just turned 20. This is how we got here. You can only imagine what the next article was going to be. The significance of fringe pizza subcultures in the rise of internet misogyny. Dave must be honestly shaking in his boots. But in all seriousness here, guys, this is the way that I interpreted the first bit of that conversation. Unless her ears were blocked and she wasn't listening to the opening lines of the conversation, where Dave clearly says, "Hey, Emily, this is Dave Portnoy. I'm recording you right now," in his clearly recognizable Dave Portnoy voice.
Hey, Emily, this is Dave Portnoy calling. I'm recording you right now.
Then she knew who was on the other end of the line. Plus, he is the subject of the story that she is currently working on in between her other stories about pumpkin spice lattes and Diet Coke. So unless Emily is a few fries short of a Happy Meal, then she knew exactly who was on the other end of the line. And she tried to do the old, "Sorry, who are you?" Give me a break. And then the blatant lie of, no, I haven't said that sort of stuff, followed by the receipts. This is amazing so far, and now watch him hold her even more accountable and the squirming deception that ensues.
Because to me, nobody would like if someone's going around sending that email to their sponsors. And again, you're not like questioning, it's almost like a statement of fact. This is what I am.
Yeah, so I do want to talk to you about this. And I just want you to know that the story I'm working on with a colleague. And I want to kind of loop him on this because we did want to talk to you. And
when were you going to reach out?
We were planning on doing it tomorrow morning, but
so you're going to write the article and then give me, like, I've had that a bunch. People write a full article and then give me the points after.
We're doing a bunch of reporting, and we wanted to make sure that when we finally did talk to you, we could really kind of present what, or talk about things more fully based on
like what? Like, it sounds like you have your opinion made of me based on that email.
No.
So then how, if you don't have your opinion made of me, how do you say in an intro email, Dave Portnoy has a history of misogenic comments and other problematic behavior? That's how you introduce the email.
Yeah. So look, I just want you to know that this is I want to talk to you about this, but
don't you think you should talk to me before sending that email?
What I wanted to do is I wanted to talk to you when we were to have some specific questions for you. And so I wanted to kind of have the full idea of what we were.
That's not a full idea. Like, anybody who's rationally reading that email being sent to an advertiser would have to be like, this is a hit piece and you have your mind made up. Why else would you put... No.
Guys, if you're enjoying this video, if you like me covering the news and these things that are happening in culture, then don't hesitate to hit that like button. It really helps me out. And you can also subscribe to the channel because this is what I do and I upload every day, especially for you guys. Back to the clips.
Oh, but you call me in the intro. I'll say it again. Dave Portnoy has a history of misogenic comments and other problematic behavior. You didn't say Dave Portnoy raised $50 million for small business. Dave Portnoy saved thousands of pizza places. You didn't mention. You said it in a way that is putting sponsors on the defensive.
So what I worried about when we contacted you, I was worried that we would have sort of one shot to talk to you, right? And so what I wanted to do is make everything that we wanted to talk to you about before I reached out to you. That's why I was waiting to call you.
Why the you lying? Why you always lying?
Because you wanted to have everything together before you talk to me. I got to be honest, this sounds like something who's going to hit me last second, be like comments and all this negative stuff.
No, this is kind of standard journalistic stuff. Like,
unfortunately, yes.
Talk about stuff.
I have been an open book and willing to sit down with anybody at any time. Anybody who's listening to this to think you were going to give me a fair chance when you're leading to our sponsors before you talk to me is crazy.
Okay. Can we set up a time to talk tomorrow? Would that be okay? Like, I want to talk to you. I really do. I just want to make sure, like, I've got all my questions ready and stuff to talk to you about. Would that be okay? Can we set up a time?
I want to see the article before you do it.
No, it's not really. We can't do that.
Why can't you do that? Because all I do is I validate all the stuff you're about to make up against me. I have been hit with the same things over and over, and they're all so wildly out of context. It's insane to say at this point in the game, when you've already written to the sponsors, let me say it again. Dave Portnoy has a history of misogenic comments and other problematic behavior. I catch you off guard on a phone call, and now you're like, no, we planned on talking to you tomorrow. Like the Washington Post, which is a wildly left-leaning publication, you have things you've said. You hate Trump, you hate Elon. Not that I'm those people. To think you're going to give me a fair shake. I wasn't born yesterday.
So here's why I love this video, guys. First of all, Dave Portnoy is an absolute legend in my books, and he sets the perfect example of how to deal with these media attacks. Most people will just hide when this sort of stuff happens, and they'll release a press statement on behalf of Barstool Sports, and then these mainstream journalists are allowed to do these vicious hit pieces with impunity. But Dave doesn't do that. He gets on the front front foot and he holds the actual person who is writing the article accountable. This is exactly how to deal with these people, and they will think twice before they mess with him again. And she can try and squirm around it, but the fact of the matter is that if you are a business owner and you are sponsoring an event, and you get an email from the Washington Post saying that you're basically sponsoring a misogynist, they know that that will scare the life out of a business owner, because that kind of bad press, if they were to go and attack that business, could completely destroy them. So she knows that what she's doing could potentially derail the whole entire event, and that's the point of it. This is bullying, and they get away with it far too often. And this event, by the way, guys, is not really one that Dave's doing to make heaps of money. He's already worth hundreds of millions. He doesn't need to be propping up small businesses and pizza restaurants. He does it because he's a man of the people, and even though he's rich and famous, he never lost touch with his grassroots. And that's the kind of guy I respect, and it's also the kind of guy that is the very antithesis to the liberal elite establishment who sit in their ivory towers thinking that they are so much better than the common people. And this is why they hate a guy like Dave Portnoy so much. They despise this man. And another reason why is because during the pandemic, whilst they were all sitting in their air-conditioned New York apartments with their essential jobs, celebrating as lockdowns happened, destroying businesses, destroying people's lives and their families' lives, Dave Portnoy was actually taking action. He wasn't sitting around in his mansion saying, "This is how you wash your hands, guys, and everybody stay inside," and singing Imagine like a woke, pretentious, out-of-touch communist dickhead.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try.
No hell below us.
Above us only sky.
Imagine all the people
Living for today. Yeah.
Imagine there's no countries, yeah. It isn't hard to do.
Nothing to kill or die for. And no religion too.
He started a fund, putting over $500,000 of his own money whilst raising over $500 million to rescue small businesses from the depths of despair in the darkest moments of their lives.
I'm gonna start to cry, for real.
Yeah, this is for real.
I gotta sit down.
We want to help and make sure you're there once this pandemic's over. So happy to be able to place the phone call.
We've been feeling so abandoned, and you guys are giving us a miracle.
I can't believe it, man.
Oh my God, oh my God.
I don't even know what to say. Thank you so much.
Oh my God.
I put my life into this place.
You saved this business. You saved it.
We'll be there every month until this pandemic's over.
Thank you so much.
Oh my God, are you kidding me?
No.
You're an angel.
He actually put his money where his mouth is and made a difference. So they can try and destroy his events and his business, and they can smear his name, and they can try and hit him with SA allegations, as they do with everyone else who they don't like. But the people that actually matter to him see straight through it. Let's check the rest of the highlights.
I mean, I wanted to talk to you, and as part of my reporting, like, we haven't written this story. We won't have written it by the time we talk to you. Like, this is talking to you, I would hope, is going to be a big part of our reporting and a big part of the story. So I'm really hoping I do that, but I want to give you a chance. If we're going to, anything specific we're going to include in the story, but I just don't have it all in front of me because I'm working with another reporter, and I want to make sure that we have as full a conversation as we can.
What was the thesis of this article you're writing?
I don't work with theses. I'm just reporting. It's just, you're an interesting guy. You have an interesting role in this industry, and we just want to look at it. That's all.
It seemed like you were going to try to shame sponsors for being associated with me and put them in a box when I know they all love me, but nobody wants the Washington Post writing an article, sponsor associated with misogynist, racist piece of shit. Nobody wants that. That's what you're trying to do. And even on this call, it's pretty clear that's what you were trying to do. You don't have the facts for me. You could have just as easily said, what's your involvement? Are you proud to be involved with somebody who has done so much for the pizza and service industry, right? That could have been an email.
Can we set up a time tomorrow to talk? I mean, really, I want to get into all of it. I was going to call you. I really wanted to talk to you. I want to have a really full conversation. That's why. So what time?
I'm more than willing to have an open conversation about anything if the article is not written. I'm afraid with what I'm seeing already here, all it does is it validates a hit piece.
I swear, I have not written the story. Believe me.
Have you made your mind up about me?
We're in the reporting phase. I don't, I can't, not for me to say, and I'm working with somebody else.
But that seems like a pretty straightforward question. That have you made your mind up about me? If you can't answer that, no.
I can say I have not made my mind up about you.
Then why would you include that in the email to sponsors?
Because I was hoping for a dialogue with them. Sometimes you have to say something like, this is like, it's sort of a reporting tactic. When you want someone to respond, you kind of have to indicate that there might be something negative, and then you get them to engage. That's all I was trying to do. I really wanted them to engage with me.
That is a sad state of journalism if that's a tactic that you have to, what I would say is make up something about somebody.
That there might be something negative, and so you want to give people a chance to respond and have a conversation with you. That's what I was trying to do.
But at the same time, you're saying you don't know that that's actually truth. So you're leading with something that you haven't done enough research to know if it's valid.
I'm saying there might be a fuller picture, and that's what I want to talk to you about. And I want to set up a time tomorrow morning, maybe like 10. Are you free at 10?
I got to do more research on you. I still don't have the vibe that you're going to give me any sort of fair shake.
So there you have it, guys. Yet another reason why nobody trusts the mainstream media anymore. And also just a perfect example of how to deal with these people. And he was actually so kind considering this reporter's behavior and how he busted her red-handed. I commend him for how magnanimous he was there. So this was a shining example of how to stand up for yourself. Well done to Dave Portnoy. And if you guys want to check out your boy Rattlesnake on other platforms, hit those links below, top of the comments and the bio. If you guys want to subscribe to the channel, click right here. If you want to watch another video, click right here. Until next time, I'm Jake. This is Rattlesnake TV, keeping you armed and dangerous.